Today's session is a very interesting session. It's about manifestation. I would like to introduce Yashaswini Bajaj, who will be our speaker today. I'll give a brief intro about Yashaswini ji, and then I'll pass it over to her. So, Yashaswini Bajaj is a physiotherapist practicing in Toronto, Canada, and a mind-body wellness and hypnosis coach. So, welcome, Yashaswini ma'am. Welcome. The stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sandeep. And greetings to everybody. And I'm so excited to begin this topic. And I hope I'm audible. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So let's begin. Today's topic is about manifestation. We have all heard about this ability that we are creators, we can manifest things. So let's understand this topic in detail. And firstly, let's understand what is manifestation. How does it work? If we were to go back to the basics, manifestation delves into the ability of each one of us, of individuals, to shape their reality through thoughts, through beliefs, and through actions. In short, our thoughts shift our reality. Now, we may have heard of manifestation, which is a mix of philosophies, law of attraction, psychology also talks about it, positive psychology, and of course, through spiritual practices. So, basically, manifestation in simple words is that we create our reality through our thoughts, beliefs, and action. Now, let's understand how. This, for me, is a very powerful quote. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And this quote is by Napoleon Hill, one of the most amazing authors who has written some brilliant self help books. And he says how the mind can, whatever we can create through our mind, and we believe, we can conceive and believe, then it becomes reality. So, at its core, manifestation recognizes the mind is a powerful creator. In short, we are creators. And if sometimes we find that saying this makes us feel uncomfortable, some of us find that what if I'm being egoistic? So instead of saying creator, you can use the word co creator. We are creating as a team with with the creator or the universe or whatever word you would like to give. So you can remember that you recognize yourself as a co creator, and what we consciously focus on, whether we are consciously focusing on positive thoughts or negative thoughts, we tend to manifest it in our lives. Now, this idea is based on the fact that where attention goes, energy flows. And to simplify this, let's understand. Sometimes the mind is focused on thoughts of wellness, thoughts of good health, and then we see more evidence of that. Sometimes the mind is rooted in fear, thoughts of illness. Then we start to see more and more evidence of that. It's almost like our mind first created it and then our reality matched it. Then sometimes, for example, let's say at two people can go to the same office but have very different beliefs. One can say, I love my job. Everyone around me is so nice to me. My boss appreciates me. And the other person might say, everyone is so competitive. No one appreciates me. Work is hectic. How can two people working in the same company with the same team have two different realities? It is often rooted in their belief systems. The first one, because they believed that the world around them is nice, their world, their office colleagues, everything is nice. Their thoughts attracted similar reactions. Where attention goes, energy flows. And the other person, because they had their thoughts were rooted in how tough it is or how they're not accepted, they saw that reality. So try this as a thought experiment. Experiment and see if you can change a certain belief about your current reality, whether it is your work, whether it is your health, whether it is any experience you're currently going through, and see if your inner belief system helps to modify your outer reality. Now, let's understand this. The next part, law of attraction. Now, manifestation and law of attraction, we may have heard of these words very commonly. Lately, it seems to be a popular word. So, what is law of attraction? These two are very closely linked. Now, central to manifestation is the law of attraction. Now, law of attraction in simple words is like attracts like. Like, just like we discussed, a similar thought attracts similar experiences. Positive thoughts attract positive experiences. Negative thought attract negative experiences. And if we were to understand this, even scientists like Albert Einstein often hinted through their quotes about this, through their speech about this, which is everything is energy and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. Okay, next, let's understand how your imagination is equally important when it comes to manifestation. Now, in order to create a new reality, it's all about images. The image we hold, the imagination we create. Thought is energy, and mental images are concentrated energy. I love this statement. Mental images are concentrated energy. So, oftentimes, whenever an energy is focused on a purpose, on a vision, it becomes a powerful manifestation. And imagination is the instrument through which all inventors and discoverers have opened new worlds. Oftentimes, it is your imagination which leads to new solutions, new ideas. And you can call upon your inner forces at will through the power of imagination. As kids, we were often very imaginative. We could picture ourselves becoming astronauts, dreaming big, living the best life. But as we started growing up, sometimes we told ourselves not to daydream too much, to be realistic. But according to many masters, many books, amazing books, it is often said that it all starts with imagination. So, this is a reminder. The key takeaway for me, if anything, today would be for you to remember that you have to dream big, like your inner child would want you to dream big. Imagine big things, imagine the best things for yourself. What else is possible? So, don't let yourself become too realistic. Sometimes it's great to envision a beautiful reality and then new doors begin to open. And this is another great quote by Joseph Murphy, the author of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. He says, your imagination is the coat of many colors. It can clothe and objectify any idea you desire. You can imagine abundance where lack is, peace where discord is, and health where sickness is. So, in short, your current reality is fluid. It's not permanent. It's not fixed. When you change your inner world, your outer world can change accordingly. So, all you have to do is even if in the current situation there is lack of peace, lack of abundance, or lack of health, your imagination is the doorway, is the first step to creating that manifestation. So let yourself just daydream. Sometimes all it takes is taking a few minutes each morning to daydream, to just close your eyes and imagine what your best life would look like, what your best health would look like, what your best wishes, if, say, you wanted to pursue a hobby or if you wanted to excel in a specific creative career, just daydream. It all starts by imagining a certain vision. Okay. Next, let's talk about some principles of manifestation. Now, just like we talked about imagination, there are a few more things. The first is belief and intention. Now, how can we manifest something if we believe we are just small beings, or if we have no power, if we don't believe in our ability and the ability of the creator or the universe that we live in? Remember, we are co creators. So, in order to create, in order to manifest, the first step is believing that you deserve it, that you are open to new beginnings or miracles or some transformations. And second is having faith. So that's the beginning. Only when you believe you are a creator rather than believing you are a victim of fate, or things that are just swaying you like a kite in any, a kite has no control. It flows in any direction the wind takes, whereas a tree is rooted. Tree has roots which are grounded. So remember, you are like a grounded tree, and you decide. Your belief and your intention is the first step to manifestation. It all begins by believing that you are a co creator or you are a creator. That's the first step. The second step, like we just discussed, is visualization, imagination. Sometimes you can add affirmations like speaking things into reality, because your speech is also important. And that brings me to a very important topic, which I believe is essential to manifestation. You can't just spend 5 minutes imagining your best life, but then whole day complaining about how bad the traffic is, how bad your health is, or how terrible the situation is. Or remember, your words are like spells. So remember to use your energy constructively. So next time you are about to criticize your body, yourself, your career, your finances, or anything that's not going right, remember to speak differently. Remember to not give it too much of vent. You can vent, but there is a point where it becomes a habit. So, your words, the choice of conscious language is also equally important when it comes to manifesting. And the third point is emotional alignment. Now, it's about feeling like it has already happened. Sometimes when you imagine yourself living, being healthy or being happy, what does it feel? It gives you feeling of joy, feeling of freedom, feeling of strength. So you have to also tap into the emotions in order to manifest. And the last principle is action. It's all great to think, but sometimes when you get an inner nudge, an inner intuition, an inner guidance to go in a certain direction, it's also about taking action. Now, I don't believe in taking action aimlessly, but once you know what you want, once you have a vision for your manifestation, you will be guided to take the right step. That's when action is required. That's when your action is more channeled, more not coming from a place of struggle, but from a place of confident direction. Now, these are just principles. So, based on these principles, now let's understand how to manifest the process, step by step application. Now, I'm not sure, but maybe most of you have heard of The Secret, which talked about law of attraction, where they often talked about manifestation. So there are a couple books that I would highly recommend if you are interested in this subject. One being Abraham Hicks, Ask and It Is Given, and Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. I will be typing these in the comments in the chat. Second being The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. This is great if you want to understand the process more deeply. And finally, it is The Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. These are three amazing books to understand this concept much more deeply, but this is a great way to start. So, the first step to manifesting is, like I discussed earlier, to realize that you have the power to create. To remember that we are all magical beings, that we live in a universe that is abundant, that is miraculous. Not that we live in a world of scarcity or fear and lack. So you choose what kind of reality do you want. Do you believe in yourself as a creator? Do you believe in the abundant universe that you live in? That's the first step. Second, to know what you want. How can you get somewhere if you don't know where you're headed? In order to manifest, you first need to have a clear goal of your life. What does your life look like in every area of your life? Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, career wise, spiritually. Like sit down and just spend time with yourself. We take so much time to waste on sometimes scrolling, which I'm guilty too. We all waste our time on unnecessary practices. Sometimes we binge watch television, or we go through social media, or why not take some time to invest in our growth, to just sit and understand our inner longings. What do you really want? If you get a car and if you don't know where you're headed, how will the car take you there? Manifestation requires the same direction. It needs maps, it needs clear intention setting. That's an important step of manifesting. And step three is center your thought upon your desire with singleness of purpose. In short, once you like there was an ancient saying that once you start to pray for rain, you believe that it's going to rain and you step out with an umbrella. You go out knowing that, having the faith that it will rain, and you take your umbrella. If you know you're going to move to your dream destination, you start packing, you start planning 8 months ahead. You don't, you act like you are getting there. You start to begin to prepare for it. So that's where it is about centering your thoughts towards your vision. And lastly, being open to receive. A lot of times, many of us deal with not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving. So, a lot of times we have to believe that we deserve good things, that we are worthy, that we are open to receiving, whether it's help, whether it's compliments, whether it's ease, whether it's support. A lot of times it's about being open to receiving. So, when you're open to receiving, the right doors open. Now, to understand some of these principles a little more in detail, and firstly, we were just talking about setting clear intentions, knowing where you are headed. Clarity is power. Now, this is what I mean. I want each one of you to ask yourself these three questions. What would your ideal life look like? Does your life involve being out more in nature, taking more care of your fitness, taking care of your hobbies, maybe having more time to relax, having more time to meditate, contributing more to the society in your own ways? Whatever it is that you want your ideal life to look like, write it down. Just think about it and write about your ideal life. The second question you can ask yourself is, what are your goals in each of these areas? Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Physically, where do you see yourself? What is your ideal health? What are your, do you have normal blood sugar levels? Do you have the perfect metabolism? Do you have the perfect healthy meal prep plan? Do you have the perfect healthy workout plan? Everything can be written down. What is your ideal life mentally? Do you feel more joyous? Do you feel more grateful? Do you feel more relaxed? Do you feel more calm? Any qualities that you want mentally. This is your roadmap. This definiteness of purpose, this intention. Having a map of your dream life is how you get closer to it. And then ask yourself emotionally, how do you want to feel? Do you want to be in a more harmonious workplace, in a more harmonious home? family life? Do you want to have more fun? Do you want to have more laughter? Do you want to have deep belly laughs? Do you want to have more peace, more joy, more forgiveness? Whatever it is, just have a clear intention. And lastly, spiritually, each one of us has a goal. Where do you see yourself spiritually? Are there certain habits? Do you want to read more books? Do you want to meditate more? Everything that you have in terms of your goals has to be on a paper. And the third question is, what do you really wish to manifest? Each one of us has our own longings. Often our goals are based on what the society thinks is ideal, but if you ask yourself, you will actually know what you really want. And you have to ask yourself, if size was not a problem, if my dreams could be as big as they could be, what would they be? Only when you know that you can dream big and you know where you're headed, you can attract that new reality. Now, this again brings me to a very amazing quote, a very powerful principle that Napoleon Hill describes. He is amazing, who's written some wonderful books. He talks about how having a clear purpose is everything. It is the definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. Don't be like a ship at sea without a rudder, powerless and directionless. Decide what you want, find out how to get it, and then take daily action towards achieving your goal. You will get exactly and only what you ask and work for. So if you don't ask, you don't get. Now, make up your mind today what it is that you want and then start today to go after it. Do it now. Successful people move on their own initiative, but they know where they are going before they start. So, this is why I wanted to stress on this image. You cannot manifest anything without knowing what you really want. You can't go somewhere before knowing where you're going. So, that's the next important point. And another way to manifest is visualizing clear outcomes. I personally love having a vision board. I love accumulating pictures. I use certain apps to just download images of my dream life. I let my inner child be more playful, decide, do I love beaches? Do I love travels? Do I want to learn a new hobby? Do I want to live a certain life? All of those pictures of my ideal life go on a vision board. As you can see in the image on your right, this is how you can design a collage of different images. And the image can be any area or multiple areas that you have a desire for. And when you have a vision board in front of you every morning, you look at it. When you wake up or say you're passing by, your subconscious mind is looking at it every day. You almost have this, it's like programming yourself. So it's a great way to use a vision board. Or you could even use a vision board as your wallpaper. So every time you see your phone, you're actually looking at your vision board. So there are so many ways to apply this, but I personally love our imagination through a vision board. And for those who like scripting, which is another technique, if you don't like the idea of just a picture but you like more details, then scripting is another great way to visualize. Scripting is basically you are the scriptwriter of your life and you start to write the story like you are the scriptwriter. Say, for example, I was scripting when I dreamt of moving to Canada way back in 2018. I used to write a script of how I used to walk under cherry blossom trees and I used to find how the spring colors were everywhere. I was not there yet, but few years ago I imagined myself, I scripted in detail how it felt to walk under the trees in Toronto, experience the cherry blossoms, experience the season, look at the people around, the city, and that was an amazing experience. So every time I had a new script, it gave me like a movie. to go into, and I was the main character of my movie. So, vision board or scripting are great ways to manifest. You can choose what works for you. Just try it out. Just use your time in something constructive like this. And then, as we were discussing, another way to be a great manifester is remembering that your feelings have to be aligned with your wish. So, feeling like it has already happened. That is the key to manifesting. Now, when you imagine the reality of the fulfilled desire and feel the thrill of accomplishment, your subconscious brings about the realization of desire. So if you wish to say, if you wish to travel to a certain place, or if you wish to, let's say you are manifesting a travel experience. So just feel like you are experiencing it, feel like you are in the middle of it. Let's say you are trying to imagine a great job interview. So why would you? Why don't you imagine getting a congratulation call from the HR, from the hiring team saying, "Congratulations, you made it." How would that make you feel? You would be so elated. So you would tap into the emotion of its accomplishment. Or you could imagine how you would inform your loved ones about it. So that's an example of how feeling the feelings like it has already happened, even if it is for a few moments, can really help you to, build the momentum towards it. It will act like a catalyst. Next, everything can happen in the head, but eventually we live in a physical reality. So, although we can do things on an energetic level, which is obviously the faster way, which is obviously a more aligned way, but eventually we will have to take some action. So, actions that are aligned with your desires and intentions, which are more coming from a creative place, will help you manifest. So, actions have to come from not from a fear based or forced way, but um like a natural consequence. So remember, it's not just enough to visualize or to manifest, but it's also about, once you visualize, you will be motivated to maybe work out a certain way, to change your diet a certain way, to be more disciplined, or to start learning a new skill. So those things, those actions are actually consequences of your vision. So don't forget to put in the work as well. That's also equally important. Now, this is another step which is very powerful, allowing and surrendering to the process. It's like taking a leap of faith, developing unwavering faith in the manifestation process. Now, you have to have faith that you are co-creator of this manifestation, and who is your partner? It's the infinite universe, it's the abundant universe, it's the creator, it's the God, whoever you would like to believe in. Now, things will always fall into place at the right time, also known as divine timing. So, visualize and then surrender and trust that it will happen in divine timing. And I would like to also like to bring in one key message here. A lot of times we think if I manifest, I may manifest something wrong. So if it's coming from that fear, always remember you can always surrender. When you surrender, you're also saying, I wish for this, but if you think something is better for me, it's your call, then you can bring that instead. So always just intend this or something better. That means this or something better. This is what I wish to attract. This is the reality I wish to have. But if you have something even better, if the universe, if the creator has something in mind which is bigger than my plan, then I surrender to it. So, this is also an important step in the process. And sometimes when things may delay or may not work out, remember that it is a part of this or something better. And in conclusion, This is also an important thing. Sometimes we believe, how do I manifest? I have these negative talks or negative beliefs, or what do I do about these programs? It's all about practice. Every day, when you repeat those conscious positive thoughts, those affirmations, those positive habits, it's about repetition. The more you do it, the more it becomes a routine. So, having a routine like a gratitude practice, affirmation practice, visualization, anything that works for you, it needs to be a habit. It's becoming a new lifestyle for you. Once it becomes a part of your everyday routine, you will be thoughtful of what you say, you will be thoughtful of the negative talk. It will happen with practice. All you have to do is instill new habits every single day. It starts with one day. It's not about 1 year from now, it's about what can you do starting tomorrow. Can you be conscious of the things you speak? Can you be conscious? Can you imagine bigger things? It's all about one day. And every single day, repetition for each one day adds up. And that's how you overcome old blocks and old patterns. And in conclusion, this again is beautiful. Your inner world creates your outer world. At any given time, in life, if we feel dissatisfied with the direction our life is taking, we have the power to rewrite our story. You can say, okay, I don't like this reality. I can change it. I am changing my reality into something that is more light, more fun, more abundant, more easy, more loving. And you have the positivity in you, you have the vision and the desire in you to create a new life. By embracing the idea that there are infinite possibilities, we open ourselves to new possibilities, new doors, new experiences. If you don't like a certain aspect of your current reality, just tell yourself, okay, I'm going to tap into the infinite possibilities in my reality and choose a more beautiful reality. Remember, as within, so without. All things come from within. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So we are only confined by our limited mindset. So, yes, you can create your reality. And that's it for today. And thank you very much.